Good evening, class. I just have a few quick notes for you while you're finishing up your week 2. The first thing I wanted to discuss is your assignment for your group presentation and PowerPoint recording. I wanted to assure you that all of your information you're going to need to be successful in this project is located here under group presentation, PowerPoint, and recording. So by now, I think that you've all, as a group, come together and decided what you wanted the focus of your presentation to be. So you should have your PowerPoints mostly designed by now. For sure, your references picked out, and then formatting done. And maybe you're polishing off on your audio recording and just making sure the slides are all concise and look presentable. Something that I would suggest that you do is go click here under My Grades. What you're going to see, this is a pseudo grade. This is just for me. But you will see under yours Group Project, and then you can view your rubric from here. So if you click View Rubric, this is exactly what I'm going to use when I grade your group assignment. I want to assure you that I set my expectations. You have this material with you, and I'm never going to grade outside of the rubric that I provide to you. So what I would think that you would do as a group is look through these and kind of check them off. With your PowerPoints, make sure you have 12 to 18 slides, they're aesthetically pleasing, and that the group's using them to their advantage. So what that means is that these should be an aid to a presentation. So these should be helpful to somebody who's giving this presentation, and that should be apparent in your audio recording. So I'm going to look at references as well. Make sure there are 3 good references, 2 being scholarly sources. If you're not sure what a scholarly source is, I would spend some time researching that online. I'm expecting, since you enrolled in an online class, that you're good at using online resources. And then formatting, make sure they're APA formatted. There's an audio recording with closed caption in the notes. And then there's a communication concept that is thoroughly explained. So I'm going to be looking at your title, making sure that it derives from the concept you designed, and that you thoroughly explain this throughout your project. And that's it. So the next thing I wanted to address is your upcoming oral presentation assignment. So that's happening next week. Again, this is a really fast-paced course. So what I would hope you are doing is looking at the rubric again, making sure that this is more or less what your outline looks like. Your outline should have 3 Roman numerals: introduction, body, and conclusion. In your introduction, you should have an attention getter that clearly gets the audience's attention. Make sure you state the thesis clearly and obviously. Give everybody a reason to listen in the audience. You want to tell your audience, here's why you should listen to me. Here's how this is going to be valuable to you. Also, make sure you have a preview of points in there. And this is something that a lot of students miss out on. But in your preview of points in the introduction, you want to say, so here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to be discussing A, B, and C. And these should be a list of your main points. It lets the audience know where you're going, and then transition that into the body of your speech, and then you can look at the conclusion, what's going to be required of you there as well. All right. So you've already selected your topic. Make sure that this is approved in the discussion board. If it's not, if you need a little bit more development, I'd make sure that's done ASAP. The first draft of your outline is due tonight. This is really, I'm going to be looking if you're starting to form your thoughts and looking at formatting, etc. All right. And then you have your sample informative speech packet. So this is what you're going to be handing in to me on the day that you come in to do your speech. But here you could use this as a template to manipulate and just put in your information. I have no issues with that. This is pretty much what I'm looking for. All right. It has your references in APA format, your visual aid page. So most students choose to do a slideshow, which is fine on a PowerPoint presentation. If that's the case, for here under visual aid page, you can just put slide 1 with a dash. Tell me what the slide had on it. Maybe it had a picture of a giraffe, and tell me how that aided you in your presentation, how that helped prove your point or helped give your audience a visual. So it'd be slide 1, slide 2, and slide 3 if you have 3 good informative visual aid slides. Other than that, examples of visual aids, you can bring in a poster, you can bring in actual equipment from something you're talking about, assuming that it will fit in the classroom. You can bring in a model, you can bring in whatever you need to visually aid. You can bring in a costume as well, so that works. And then make sure you have your checklist. This should be attached to the very end of your visual, to your packet. And these boxes should all be checked so that I know that you've checked and made sure that these were all included in your speech. This one is really to help you. So going back to the oral presentation, if you scroll to the very bottom, you're going to see your informative speech assigned day. And that's the day we get to meet face to face, and you will be giving your speech. It'll be a good opportunity, if nothing else, to have some experience with public speaking. I'm really looking forward to meeting you next week.